Meanwhile, in St. Louis, their general manager, Scotty Bowman, had been telling everyone who'd listen that he was eager to make a trade to shake up what he considered to be an underachieving hockey club in the St. Louis Blues. Scotty, however, seemed to be unable to find a partner with whom to barter, at least on terms that were amenable to Mr. Bowman. Wally Cross of the St. Louis Post-Dispatch asked Scotty about the Blues trading prospects these days, and here is what Wally wrote and what Scotty would have told him. The most popular indoor pastime around the National Hockey League these days is a fascinating little parlor game called Trade the Stars. This is sort of a refinement of Pin the Tail on the Donkey. The object is to convince an opponent to trade one or more of his better players to you in exchange for a couple of your worst. Not surprisingly, there have been few clear winners, but that doesn't seem to have discouraged anyone from attempting to match the great train robbery perpetrated by Boston general manager Milt Schmidt almost 4 years ago when he acquired Phil Esposito, Ken Hodge, and Freddie Stanfield from the Chicago Blackhawks. So Wally Cross asked Scotty Bowman just how come he wasn't able to arrange a deal like that. Scotty suggested nobody wants to get burned. I've talked to a few clubs lately, and we're certainly nowhere near making any deals. Scotty went on to say, and this is very telling, it's the same story every time. Sure, we could probably pick up a good player or two, but everybody wants a Berenson, a Sabrin, or a Roberts in return. You'd be surprised just how many guys we have on the St. Louis Blues that nobody wants. Hardly a ringing endorsement from the general manager for the roster that he himself has built. Of course, you know what happened, don't you? The very next day, the Blues did make a trade. Isn't that always the way it goes? Well, when you're talking to National Hockey League executive, well, you got nothing cooking, and then the next day they make a 9-player trade. Well, this wasn't quite that way. It wasn't a major transaction by any means, but the Blues did bring in a player from the Canadiens, there's that Pollock at it again, in the form of slightly built but very talented Fran Huck, who made his hockey name as a star with the now defunct Canadian national team. In order to obtain Fran Huck, Scotty Bowman sent to Canadians a future second-round draft pick and what else, those ever-present future considerations, just to get the chance to see if Fran Huck, 25 years old, still had any future as a National Hockey League player. According to Vancouver hockey writer Hal Sigurdsson, the Blues made an offer to the Canucks for goalie George Gardner. The bait was apparently forward Frank St. Marseille, and Vancouver general manager Bud Poile was reported to have turned down that offer flatly. Now, this one didn't really make a lot of sense to me, at least from a St. Louis perspective. The Blues have Ernie Wakely and Glenn Hall in goal right now, and they were doing an outstanding job. They could use an outstanding prospect goaltender because both Wakely and Hall are far from being young players in the league. Gardner's hardly that. He's over 30. So I think that if Scotty Bowman would understand that as well, and if he were truly looking to acquire a Vancouver puck stopper, and they've got 3 good ones in Charlie Hodge, Gardner, and Dunk Wilson. Wilson, in his early 20s, would be the far more attractive asset.